AM 590, KXSP Omaha's ESPN Radio. It's time for the Metro's only racing talk show. The Front Stretch, presented by Joe's Karting in Council Bluffs. Now, here's Dan Taylor and Buddy Ray.
Hey y'all, it's Miss Coors Light, and you're listening to The Front Stretch.
Good morning, race fans, and welcome to The Front Stretch, presented by Joe's Karting in Council Bluffs, online at joeskarting.com. That's karting with a K, and today is the day.
It's here.
I'm rhyming like Dr. Seuss. It's going to be a beautiful day. We are just 4 hours away, just a little under 4 hours away now, from the 6th annual Racing with the Stars, the benefit to help the Holiday Horsepower Drive, which donates money to the Children's Hospital and makes sure that kids in the Omaha area and at Children's Hospital gets themselves a gift while spending time in the hospital getting their treatments over the holiday season. If you want a full list of drivers that are going to be at the Holiday Horsepower Drive, at the Racing with the Stars today, go to Facebook, check it all out. 6th annual Racing with the Stars, and I've heard that one person already chickened out.
Yeah, that was shocking. The high side hitter, the high side hustler, Josh
Is that
Most.
his new nickname, the high side hitter?
That's what I've been calling him, the high side hitter. I mean, he went from hitting race cars to doing WWE on the front stretch at ID Speedway, so I always figured high side hitter, why not?
Did Nicole go with him?
No, Nicole will be there.
She'll still be there. Also confirmed sprint car driver Mike Boston. I believe he won the inaugural 305 class at Eagle Raceway, who we'll talk to Roger Hadan here in just a little bit as he's making his way over to the studios.
Jordan Evans, the Dirt Track Series champion out of Joe's Karting, and Ramsey Meyer, the 2013 IMCA Sport Compact National Champion.
Any relation to Harley?
No. Harley Meyer? Oh, no.
No, Harley, I'm asking.
No, that's a crew. For those that don't know, that's a crew chief of mine. Different spelling of names.
Not a friend of mine right now.
No.
Things may get dirty this afternoon.
That is the story of the Racing with the Stars. For the listeners that don't know, we do have a really nice helmet. It's autographed. It's an authentic helmet autograph from all the USMTS and Lucas Oil late model drivers.
Just don't even bother. Don't even bother telling them because it's going to be mine.
So the deal is you can win the helmet. It's all in case. It's going to have a little pop-up plaque like it did last year and whatnot. Yep. Starting bids on that are $150, and Harley said that there's no way Dan Taylor's taking it home this year. He's taking it home.
Well, he must have financing through Bank of America, maybe Capital One or something like that. What's in your wallet? He's going to have to bring more than his checkbook because I got paid Thursday, and I didn't do anything all weekend but prepare for this. So it's a fair warning. I'm not acting like I got a ton of money, but I've saved up just for this. So he's going to have to come with a couple more than $155 bid. That's not going to cut it. I'm just telling you right now,
so
Harley.
The gauntlet has been thrown down. But, for how we present that helmet, though, it's really nice.
And you guys have other things there to bid on, too. So let's, people focus on that so that way I can save a little bit of money.
Yeah.
We don't need to be running me up on the bid.
Here's some of the things that we have. And I got a lot of flack for this. We do have the front panel off of a dirt late model. It's the It's the 07 Jack Daniels late model.
I happen to know that one.
Yep. The car was driven by Casey Mears at the Bootleggers race from Eagle Raceway back in 2009. That will be there. It is autographed. Here's something you don't see every day. A 1/24th scale chrome late model Scott Bloomquist. That is autographed.
Man,
that's going to be on there.
I'm looking at that thing online. If you go to the 6th annual Racing with the Stars, drop the more details down where it gives you the list of celebrities. Keep scrolling down. It's going to give you a list of all the items. And then it also gives you a website to go and bid in advance. And there's pictures of a lot of these things. And man, that is a sharp-looking 1/64th or 1/24th?
1/24th. It's like the big 10-inch chrome late model.
because 64th is like micro machine size.
That's your 99-cent Hot Wheels car.
Right. And that's a Scott Bloomquist autographed?
That's autographed. The box is autographed.
Okay.
The car actually comes with a cloth bag. Now, what you don't understand about that car is back when the World of Outlaw late model series started, there was only a dozen drivers. Mm-hmm. He was one of them. They called him the Dirty Dozen. that car is extremely rare. You can't just go into a collectible store and just go buy that autographed.
$100 starting bid?
$100 starting bid.
And that's something you guys can can bid on coming up today at the Racing with the Stars, 6th annual Racing with the Stars at Joe's Karting in Council Bluffs. Go to 6th annual Racing with the Stars on their Facebook page. All the information is there so far. Well over 100 people in attendance. You've got another 100 people that are going to work on trying to get there. So it's going to be a packed house, and it's going to be an awesome time. I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, and then on top of that, for the women, we got to take care of the women. They've got the bath time baskets filled with, luxury bath and pedicure stuff. But then back to the men in the racing environment, and some of the women like racing. We got an autographed door from Ricky the Racer Steffen and Jaden Oatboom. We had an anonymous donor come forward. They're doing this is going to be raffle, $1 a ticket or 6 tickets for a $5 bill. It's a $25 gift card, one each to Lowe's, Home Improvement, Home Depot, Subway, Bass Pro Shops, Outback Steakhouse, and Buffalo Wild Wings. What does all that have in common? They're all on Cup cars. Oh, yeah. I got to thinking about that.
That is, I heard Buffalo Wild Wings, and I got distracted. I'm sorry.
Yep.
That's all going down this afternoon. Kicks off at noon. It all ends at 4 o'clock. And again, we're just going to say it one more time. For some reason, pay no attention to the time on Facebook. Pay attention to the time.
I don't know why Facebook does that.
I don't know why it's doing that either. Is it by any chance anticipating the daylight savings change today?
That's what I was wondering.
Did we fall back? We fell back an hour, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't even know what time it is right now.
My alarm went off and I came into the studio.
Hopefully I'm supposed to be here, not at the track.
And hopefully, it's all right. So that's the Racing with the Stars kicking off today at noon. Joe's Karting in Council Bluffs. Drivers like Clint Llewellyn, Ari Scouten, Carol Webb, Shaylee Bade, Trevor Baker, Ricky Steffen, Ryan McPike from the Action 3 news team. So many good drivers, and very excited about it today. Should we talk a little bit of Martinsville? Because I think drivers are still fighting after what happened at Martinsville.
I don't know. I haven't called Harvick or Dillon lately.
Boy. After the truck race, there was a little bit of contact, and you heard the whole, buddy. You heard the whole exchange between the two. Them calling them spoiled little brats.
I didn't hear all of it, but I did see the article come out where Harvick was man enough and he apologized for some of his actions.
Man enough.
Although he might have been being politically polished.
Yeah, I think he was being politically polished. Although I believe he was a little. It irked me a little bit that he called them spoiled little brats. And, I'm going to defend them just like I defend Danica, because I think they're paying their dues. And this was a big conversation all week long. Are these boys spoiled little brats? And nothing I have seen has shown that. Now, I don't get to sit down in the pits and talk to them. I'm not at the shop with them. I don't get to do this stuff. But I've got no problem with the way these two boys are coming up through the circuit.
You may not, and I'm not taking sides on this issue because we don't know either one of the drivers, you or I. We don't know Harvick or the Dillons. But speaking as a driver, we see this all the time in the dirt world where, the spoiled little brats. I won't mention names, but there's kids out there. They're not necessarily 12 or 14. They're not necessarily 18. They might be 16 or 17. But they go out there. They haven't really paid their dues in the fact that they've never had to fund anything. They've never had to go out and work for it. It was handed to them. And I'm not saying that that's happened to Dillon by no means.
Yeah.
But to be fair to Harvick, what kind of a background does Harvick have prior to getting into Cup? Did he come up racing late models on dirt, and modifieds on dirt? Did he win the championships? Did he go out and do that? Or did Dillon not do any of that and basically grow up in a Cup shop and then basically get handed a ride?
Both of those boys raced on dirt they have money and they have technology behind them.
Right.
But they both raced on dirt. They have both done plenty of winning, and I've seen them make moves on tracks that don't make me sit there and say, this is just some talentless kid that is being the benefactor of having a rich daddy or a rich grandpa.
Now, if they've done that, because I'll be honest, I haven't seen them do any of that, but if they bona fide have dirt experience, racing experience, and then prior to going to Cup or Nationwide, then they're not spoiled. They're just lucky that their grandpa's Richard Childress is on.
Then I think that's just something that you can't avoid. I mean, what are they supposed to do? Richard Childress says, "Do you want to learn how to be a dirt track driver?" And they're supposed to say no. because of who they're connected to.
Yeah.
That does make. But I want to ask you. Okay, you brought it up that you've seen this before in dirt, and that these kids that they've got wealth funding behind them. I want you to answer me in a legitimate reason. What are they supposed to do? I mean, if somebody gives me $1 million and I decide I want to go race, but I have. We've heard drivers say this all the time, but the difference between a sport compact and a modified and a late model are incredibly different. So if I'm going to start racing, and I'm telling you, God honest, somebody gives me $1 million and my dad decides he's going to sell our family land and he's going to fund my racing, and I'm jumping into a sport mod.
And you're 15 years old.
No, I'm 31 years old like I am right now. Right now, I've got all this money coming into the sport. What am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to go down and start racing karts for a couple of years? I don't have many years that I could actually do this. I'm going to jump into a sport mod. I'm not going to waste my time in a sport compact and a kart and come up like Ari Scouten does, where he's got time to come up. I'm not going to do that because I don't want to learn habits that won't translate into a sport mod. I want to learn everything fresh from a sport mod.
And that's all well and fine, and we understand the mentality behind that. A lot of times when I see the new drivers, whether it be in a sport mod, a sport compact, a late model, whatever, especially in the sport mods, I'm working with a few right now, I tell them, this is your first year out, you've never raced anything. Instead of starting up front, if you're supposed to start on the pole for the heat race or second row outside, don't start there. Mm-hmm. You don't know what you're doing for at least a year.
Yeah.
Then you get jackrabbits like
guys
me.
Like me. It's going to take at least 10 years for things to sink in. I'm a bit thick-headed.
Well, I'm 20 years, and it's just now starting to click.
I'm not even sure it's just now.
Yeah. But anyways, I tell them, don't try to start up there in the first couple rows. Yeah. Start dead last. When you start dead last, you almost silently gain the respect of those around you because they know you're new. They're more out to look out for you. But when you go up there and you're just tearing up equipment because you don't know how to control a car, you can't hold a line.
But if I'm starting in the back, what is that really teaching me? It's not teaching me how to. It's not teaching me how to. Basically, how to defend my position. I understand that I may be a couple of seconds slower, and that's we're getting into very situational stuff. But I absolutely don't have a problem with the Dillons in their situation. I feel bad for them because they are benefactors of a situation. They've got their grandpa and his technology and his money that. Okay, they say things like, well, Dale Sr. never had that ability. Well, there wasn't many guys in Dale Sr.'s time that could have had that opportunity. You know what I'm saying?
So if
there's Hendrick, there's Joe Gibbs, there's Richard Childress, there's Petty Enterprises. There's organizations out there that now have 40 or 50 years of racing experience that wasn't there when those guys were racing. So the situation couldn't have happened.
People want to say that the Dillons are spoiled brats. All right, fine. Well, you're going to say they're spoiled brats because they're handed a racing operation.
Yeah.
Well, Richard will just do this, and Richard will just do that because you're their grandsons. Well, what's your argument for Tony Stewart putting Dillon in a car at Talladega and Dillon held his line and did damn good?
And what... I actually completely lost my train of thought, so now I'm going to switch over to the results from Martinsville because despite all of the news that has happened over the last 8 days, there was actually a race that happened, and Jeff Gordon got himself another grandfather clock. And this really got, honestly, maybe I'm just kind of shooting for the good feel-good story, but I talked about it a couple of weeks ago with Jeff Gordon that when he gets that fire... You saw it at Richmond. When he gets that fire and he realizes that there is a goal that is achievable, man, that guy can still drive like it's 1994. He can still wheel a car and have that fire. And I think after the win last Sunday, I think he's got that fire. I think he is now a threat to win this championship. Now, here's the issue that's going to come up. He's 27 points behind. You can't make up 27 points by winning 2 races because Jimmy Johnson and Matt Kenseth,
they're going to be up front.
Barring any unforeseen circumstances, a jack breaking, a hung lug nut, a penalty, speeding penalty down pit road, these things that seem to creep up and catch guys, barring any of those, they're finishing in the top 10 at the next 3 races.
Oh, top 10, I'm thinking top 5.
Yeah, so there's not. I don't think there's a good enough chance, even if Jeff Gordon wins the next several races, that he's going to be able to catch those guys. But he's going to need one of them to falter, and he's going to need both of them to falter, really.
The only bad thing about Jeff Gordon, it's great that he won. I had to do a triple take on my phone when I got the alert that he won. I was like, whoa, the Weekend Warrior, there you go. The only bad thing is after was it Richmond earlier this year where NASCAR came in and said, Jeff, we're going to put you in the chase. So had he gone on to win the chase, how many haters would be saying, well, the only reason why you want to chase is because NASCAR felt sorry for you, put you in the chase?
I think it proves that he deserved to be in there. I mean, he has gone. I heard a really, really good stand. He's gone from 13th to 3rd in the standings. He started 13th walking into Chicagoland. Now he was 20 points behind, so he has actually ended up losing ground on the leaders. But he's made his way up to 3rd place, and he's now within striking distance. It's outside of his control, but that just proves that Jeff deserved to be in it in the first place. And I don't think it taints NASCAR at all if Jeff Gordon wins the championship. I'll be excited that somebody other than Jimmy Johnson won once again, because as talented as he is, I think the sport is tired of seeing him win championships. I think that's where the haters come from. Much what we talked about with Jesse Sobbing, and he experiences the same kind of thing. But I don't think it's bad for NASCAR. I don't think it's bad for anybody. I think that if he wins the championship, I'm going to be incredibly happy for him.
Back in the day, I wasn't exactly the world's biggest Jeff Gordon fan, but it would just be really cool to see a former champion like Jeff Gordon come out of the woodwork and just pop a championship off. I mean, it's like you're getting some of that old school back. I mean, here's one of the last few guys that raced against the late Dale Earnhardt. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're back to that attitude area back then. I mean, there's not very many drivers left that can. I think Matt Kenseth, he raced against the late Dale Earnhardt back in the day. And
to be honest with you, there's still a lot of them. I could pick out, obviously, Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson, Kevin Harvick, Dale Jr., Greg Biffle, Carl Edwards, Jeff Burton.
Those are drivers that were back in the attitude area, but I'm talking about drivers that could win a championship. Harvick came in after the late Earnhardt.
Right, he came out, yeah.
So I'm not counting him. But you got Kenseth and you got Gordon.
And I don't know. You're talking about the guys who harken back to the attitude days. I don't see that with either of those guys you just listed off. They've got attitude when they need to, but they're more polished than the guys of the glory days of the 90s is what you're kind of referring to.
They're the polished bad boys of NASCAR.
There is nothing about Jeff Gordon that screams bad boy. Come on. Well, that's the Bush brothers you're thinking of, buddy. Matt Kenseth came home with a second-place finish. Clint Boyer got himself a top 3. Brad Keselowski, 4th. Jimmy Johnson came home 5th. Harvick, Hamlin, Jr., Biffle, and McMurray round out your top 10.
Hey, not to cut you off, but Keselowski finished, 3rd, 4th? 4th. What's going on with Bad Brad right now? He seems like he's running up front all of a sudden out of nowhere. He's doing pretty decent.
He's had 2 good races.
And the win.
Well, yeah, 2 good races. That included the win. It
just seems like there's something clicking right there that it's like his timing is off. What's clicking for him right now should have been clicking for him, 2 months ago, so he could be in the chase. I noticed that.
Your point standings were knotted up, and right now Matt Kenseth with the win advantage is your champion, but we got 3 races to go, and this is going to be interesting today at Texas Motor Speedway. We got to take a quick break. We'll be back to talk with Roger Hadan from Eagle Raceway. He's got some big news he wants to talk to us about. It's all coming up here on the front stretch, presented by Joe's Karting on AM 590, Omaha's ESPN Radio.
In 1999, Wade Cross decided he was tired of overpaying for shocks, so he created FX Shocks. Now FX suspension customers reach across the United States with countless wins and championships, including national champion in 3 major IMCA classes, plus Super Nationals champions in all 4 of the Saturday night's main events. Get your FX Shocks today. One-on-one consultation is waiting for you at 308-383-9609. 308-383.
This is Andrew from Kaziski Auto Parts. Kaziski Auto Parts is an insurance-quality used parts supplier that can match your foreign or domestic car or truck needs. If you have a damaged or broke-down car or truck, we guarantee a clean and quality part in next-day fashion. Kaziski Auto Parts, your neighborhood premium recycled parts supplier. Call any Kaziski Auto Parts salesman today by dialing 402-731-4592 or visit us at 5040 I Street in Omaha. Kaziski Auto Parts, our quality used parts will match your car or truck's needs.
Are you ready for fast-paced, adrenaline-pumping, wheel-to-wheel racing right here in the Metro? Get to Joe's Karting in Council Bluffs and see what it's like to race real go-karts. Joe's Karting knows it's no fun to race go-karts at 10 miles per hour, so they ripped the governors out, and now the only restriction is how good you are at racing. It's full-throttle, white-knuckle racing every day of the week. Head over to joeskarting.com for hours, prices, and specials, or give Buddy a call today and set up your group races at 712-256-5278.
We're working the High Line into Turn 2 on the front stretch, presented by Joe's Karting. Online at joeskarting.com.
Heading into Turn 2, brought to you by Shamrock Limousine, online at shamrocklimosite.com. Give Jim and everybody a quick visit over at shamrocklimosite.com for your bachelor party, anniversaries, night out on the towns. Join with Roger Hadan in the studio. Roger, when was the last time you got to be in a limo?
Last Friday.
Last Friday?
Did you have your wife in the limo?
No.
Are you serious? Wasn't that your anniversary?
Yeah.
And you still did not take your wife out in the limo on an anniversary?
No, she was busy cooking.
Really?
Yeah. We do a haunted house at the racetrack, and it happened to end up on our anniversary night. And so consequently, there was a limo that brought a bunch of people. Well, we have numerous limos, and I had to be jacking around in my clown outfit that I get up in, and that's where I ended up, was in the limo with a bunch of chicks.
Talk about
on your anniversary with your wife at home cooking.
Yeah, whoops.
Well, she wasn't
home.
She was at the haunted house.
Yeah, she was at the track cooking. Yep. So she was there. I couldn't get in too much trouble.
How big is? I haven't gotten a chance to go out and see this haunted house. Maybe I'll get out there next year because I'm a huge Halloween freak. I love this. This is my favorite time of year. Talk about the haunted house. What is it like? A holograph of Buddy Ray going into Turn 2, and you get scared out of your wits, or?
Part of the haunt is actually a bus ride where we pick you up, take you out to Darklands, which is off of Turn 3 and 4, back in the trees. Mm-hmm. And so I happen to be the bus driver, so it's kind of like Buddy Ray driving. People in the bus are just, their fingernails are just digging into the seat like none other.
Do you actually drive on the back side of 3 and 4 on that angled hill there?
Nope. I actually give them a ride around the racetrack to try to promote the racetrack. So. You know, we're talking about racing as I'm going around there, and part of the spiel is there was a few years ago, two sprint car drivers going down this same backstretch I'm taking you on, came together going in Turn 3, causing one to fly out of the track and clear the billboards and landed in the trees, and about that time I make a big swerve and just miss the guardrail, and everybody's hanging on.
In a bus.
And and then off we go after everybody's screaming and yelling, and I tell them, hey, we found the car, never found the driver. That's where we're dropping you off.
Wow. That sounds like a good time. I'll have to get out there. You had quite the year out at Eagle Raceway. Obviously, Roger Hadan joining us in studio. We appreciate your time joining us and talking a little bit about your 2013 season. So let's start from the beginning. How'd your whole season go this year?
Well, it started out pretty rough. We had a bunch of rainouts right off the bat, and that's never good to start that way. And to be honest with you, for a racetrack to make up as many rainouts as we had is probably pretty incredible, but we got to a point where we at least broke even for the year.
That's good, because Buddy and I were talking about that. You know, you guys put your plan together, and you've got, 13, 14 nights that you got to make your green for the entire year.
Yep, that's kind of what I tell everybody. You got, if you're lucky, you get 20 days to pay 365 days of bills.
Yeah, and you miss out on one of them, and that's a huge chunk of revenue.
Yeah, you lose a couple nights, that's 10% of your whole gig.
Am my memory serving right? You guys missed 6?
Yeah, I think we missed the first 5 of the 7.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was first 5 of the 7, because you were telling me earlier this year is almost a record number of rainouts in the history of Eagle.
Yeah, it's the same amount. There was, I think we ended up with 9 total.
Whoa.
Yeah, obviously, the big story is this was the inaugural year for the 305 Racesavers. I want to say, on my perception, it was a success. Would you say the same?
Definitely. Yeah, I think it's so successful that I'm not sure how many tracks around the country are going to pick it up, but I know I get calls from IMCA fairly often that they've picked up numerous tracks, and I believe they were down in Texas this week, and they picked up, I think, 4 more IMCA tracks down there that are going to run sprint cars and various other IMCA classes. So I know there's some there. There's some talk of stuff happening in the Kansas, Missouri area. And it was good enough. We had a good enough car count to where I felt we needed to get some more racing in our area, and we put together a series.
Any tracks maybe giving you a call in Southwest Iowa to do any 305 racing?
Yep.
Obviously, the big reason why we wanted to have you in tonight, you've got a little bit of news about a track that's special to me.
Yeah, Denison, Iowa. Actually, let's start in the middle of Iowa.
Okay.
Des Moines, Iowa has picked up the Racesaver sprint cars at the fairgrounds track. And there's a group of guys who are going to be running that who drivers couldn't ask for a better group of guys because they got some people with some backing behind them. I mean, when you've got the ex-mayor of Des Moines as part of the partnership.
Wow.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Stuff could happen at that place. So, I mean, they're starting off on the right foot. They got some good new ownership behind
Isn't
it.
one of the other backers like the owner of Casey's General Store or something like that?
Yeah, some big store that sells a lot of gas and other products, yeah.
And usually those gasoline places have got a little bit of money to help out.
Yeah, I think they're going to do great. They're going to be great for the sport, great for sprint car racing. They're sprint car fans to start with, so they have some involvement in some other sprint cars right now. So I think the thing's going to go really well for them. The other track picking it up for sure just happened here is Denison, Iowa is going to go ahead and sounds like, for lack of better use of words, they're going to ditch one of their classes and pick up the sprint cars instead of it and try to promote that and see how they can do with that.
Mm-hmm. And I was kind of an advocate early in the year for getting rid of the late models because it was just a rough watch. I mean, it's got its own group of fans, and I'm not bashing it in any way. I'm not knocking it in any way. It's just it doesn't provide for a lot of action as to where these 305s and sprint cars do.
Nah, I don't believe that at all. I'm not going to throw them under the bus that far.
Well,
I really think it's a dollars and cents deal. Mm-hmm. If nobody's noticed, the economy hasn't been the swiftest.
Yeah.
So I really think everything right now is boiling down to dollars and cents. And the late model deal, I mean, it's going to survive, maybe not very well in our part of the country, but there's parts of the country where it's doing okay. And I think without some major change, and I don't know what that major change is, I don't believe they are going to have any better fate than what the 360 sprint cars or 410 stuff is, going to have. It's a dollars and cents deal.
And let me. I kind of got off subject, and the words came out of my mouth pretty wrong. The early part of the season, the racing was pretty spread out and not very action packed, and not a lot of cautions for good restarts, double files, and making for good action. But after the specials during the July 4th specials, the racing somehow it got a lot better. So I was pretty 50-50 at the end of it. But I'm excited to see drivers do you know some of these drivers that are going to be? You've talked to them ahead of time. Like, can I say maybe Mike Boston will start making this trip between the two tracks?
I think anybody who wants to have a chance at a national title is going to have to race some more races. Mm-hmm. What they're doing in the sprint car classes, they're taking your best 20 finishes out of your out of 30 starts. So Eagle Raceway on its own, we can't produce that many races. So they're going to have to travel. They're going to have to run a little bit of my series. It's the SSN Sprint Series of Nebraska we're putting together for this year. They're going to have to run some of that, or they could go to Denison and run occasionally. And I think there's some people with sprint cars that I know of right now that raced with us last year, and some new ones coming that are in the Omaha type area, I guess. Mm-hmm. That it would make sense for people from that area to go to Des Moines for sure.
Yeah. Is there going to be a points battle between Eagle and Denison? Are you guys going to do a joint points track system, that kind of a thing?
Haven't even got that far yet. This is really pretty new news. So,
and this is obviously talking about 2014 for the next year of racing. Buddy, I've kind of hogged the microphone. You got any questions for Roger over there?
Yeah. Let's talk about this SSN series. How many tracks have you guys signed up so far for that in 2014?
Well, not too many yet either, because we just got working on it. But I believe my series, I just want to have 8 races. The reason for that is the honest truth is it takes 8 races for it to count towards 100% of the bonus points for national points. So all they've got to do is run 8 SSN Sprint Series of Nebraska races, and that would count. There would be a point system for that, and that would count just as if they raced at Eagle Raceway all year long, for a points title.
Talking with Roger Hadan, owner of Eagle Raceway, just outside of Lincoln, Nebraska, in Eagle, Nebraska.
You promoters do such a good job putting on the races every year.
What do you want?
I think he wants the ban lifted from Eagle Raceway.
Yeah. No, I got to go to I-80 for that. But with that being said, you guys do such a good job putting on the races that you guys talk to IMCA. You guys talk to other chassis manufacturers, stuff like that, whether it be stock car, hobby stock, sprint car, late model, whatever. Have you heard any of these rumors floating around or gotten with if any of the rumors floating around about maybe quick change rear ends in the A mods or sport mods next year?
Yeah, in my opinion, I guess, for what it's worth, which probably ain't crap, but in my opinion, I think the quick change would be a huge mistake.
Really?
Just because any time you make a change, no matter if you're trying to save somebody money or not, it always ends up costing somebody.
It's going to cost money to try to save that money?
Yeah. So one way or another, I think it's bad, but I do believe that in the near future, there's going to be quick changes in mods. USMTS has already done it. Numerous other sanctioning bodies of mods have done it. And I guess if IMCA wants to be like everybody else, they can do it too.
Mm-hmm.
I would challenge any series, put any series up against IMCA, and there is none of them that have near the car count of what IMCA will affect by changing this rule.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to affect thousands of modifieds nationwide by one change of the rule.
So you're just saying it's something they need to take very seriously. Obviously, they're going to, but in order to try to save a little money.
We think they will.
Let's stress, we think.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your sprint series. Again, we talked about the 305's first year, the inaugural year of the 305's. 32 total cars ended up making it out to Eagle Raceway for the entire series. I was hearing between about 16 and 20 cars towards the end of the season. You were starting to have a couple of more cars trickle in.
Yeah, for the ones that were eliminating themselves, for whatever the reason might be, wrecking or I don't think we had hardly any motors hurt, but wrecking cars or other obligations and stuff, there always seemed to be a few more that would trickle in that would be new and, interested in testing the waters, or actually some of them even came from clear down in Missouri, came up and raced and, wanted to give it a try to see if their URSS stuff that they run down there was going to be anywhere near competitive. So, yeah, we had quite a few cars this year. Mike
Boston ended up getting the points championship over Terry Richards. Boston, a former 360 racer himself.
Unless he's a better liar than I think he is. I think he had a lot of fun running the deal, actually. The comments after the races were always pretty entertaining. I mean, once in a while you'd have to chew my backside about the track prep and such, but he's always looking for this big foot-tall cushion around the top of the track that he can bang the tire off of,
Especially in turn 2 right there.
Yeah, he's very good at that. But, yeah, I mean, I think he was pleasantly pleased at how good the racing was. The coolest thing to me was the times aren't that far off the 360 deal. At the start of the season when I was with you guys, we really kind of didn't exactly know how close they'd be. But when the record time is, within a second basically of the record Racesaver times within a second of 360 $50,000 motor record time. And the Racesaver guys are running $5,000-ish motors. One second's not much.
And really, as a driver, have you ever noticed in the Racesaver that it's a very clean race? You don't see a lot of beating and banging. You don't see a lot of deliberate. We're going to get into you, and you don't want that in a sprint car. But for as new as this whole field is, what an outstanding job! Can you imagine if the sport mods were just about as clean as the Racesaver sprint cars?
Boy, that'd make some naysayers on the internet happy, wouldn't it? we always got to hear that, those dang sport mods screwing up the show. And, heck.
People say that?
Yeah.
A lot.
Roger Hadan of Eagle Raceway, you guys have the next thing you guys have coming up, your awards banquet, am I right?
Yep.
It's about the next thing you guys, is that open to the public?
Yes.
Where is that being held at this year?
Lancaster Event Center in Lincoln. I couldn't even tell you the date. January 2nd.
Yep,
I was just reminded last night.
January 11th.
11th.
Okay, close
At
enough.
least that's what the website says.
Yep. And
Well, 1 + 1 is 2, so.
Wow. It's amazing how you justify things.
yeah, it's always a pretty good annual event. I mean, we'll pack the place. It'll be full of people. We'll give away a lot of nice awards, and we try to be head and shoulders above other tracks as far as anything we do, really. We always try to do better. So
I honestly think it's the best awards banquet I've ever been to, and I've been to it 2 or 3 times. I mean, 800 people. You're giving away engines, heads, motors, tires, ball caps, T-shirts.
Yeah.
And Roger Hadan's in a suit, tuxedo.
Sometimes.
Will you be making an appearance in a tuxedo this year?
No, we didn't get our free tuxedo gig this year.
Dang.
Well, let me ask you this. Are you taking Michelle via limo?
No.
We got a limo company we can hook you up with.
Yeah, we can hook you up with a limo.
Not unless they're going to haul all my junk down with me that we got to take for the awards banquet. Can they get a couple engines in there?
You know you're a redneck when you haul your race engine in a limo.
We had plenty of room in that limo for the Silver Dollar Nationals meet.
Look, if we get Scott Bloomquist in a limo, we can get a 355 race engine.
Yeah, he's a pretty big dude.
Well, Roger, we've taken a lot of your time, a lot more than we promised we would. Anything else we need to hit on?
No, just come see us at Eagle Raceway, and I hope everybody has a good winter.
All right, thank you very much. Have a good off season. Try to kind of relax a little bit. I know you got plenty of earfuls some nights from some people. We will remain them nameless. Thanks for joining us. We'll be right back here on the front stretch.
The 6th annual Racing with the Stars is just around the corner. Sunday, November 3rd from noon to 4 p.m. at Joe's Karting in Council Bluffs. This is your chance to race with your favorite dirt track drivers like Trevor Hunt from USMTS, Josh Most, Shea Obade, and celebrities like Ryan McPike from the Action 3 Weather Team. The 6th annual Racing with the Stars at Joe's Karting in Council Bluffs, a benefit to raise money for Children's Hospital. More info on Facebook at 6th annual Racing with the Stars.
Football means it's time for Quaker Steak and Lube. Don't miss your favorite college or pro team with the area's best wings, ribs, burgers, and more. During the games, get a lube tube and a bucket, just $24.95. $10 lube tube, $9 domestic bucket, or a 24-pack of boneless wings, just $12.99. Kick off your game day with a $4 Bloody Mary or margarita. Football is here, and your season headquarters is once again Quaker Steak and Lube. NASCAR fans, don't forget every race, all the way up to the end of the chase, is at your local racing headquarters, Quaker Steak and Lube, next to the Mid-America Center, Council Bluffs.
Are you ready for fast-paced, adrenaline-pumping, wheel-to-wheel racing right here in the Metro? Get to Joe's Karting in Council Bluffs and see what it's like to race real go-karts. Joe's Karting knows it's no fun to race go-karts at 10 miles per hour, so they ripped the governors out, and now the only restriction is how good you are at racing. It's full-throttle, white-knuckle racing every day of the week. Head over to joeskarting.com for hours, prices, and specials, or give Buddy a call today and set up your group races at 712-256-5278.
Time to grab another tear-off and make your move. We're headed into Turn 3 on the front stretch, presented by Joe's Karting.
Heading into Turn 3 and joining us on the phone, Randy Tiffey. What is your official title over at Crawford County Speedway, Randy?
I'm one of the 5 board managers for the racetrack.
So one of the
Crawford County Racing Association.
Well, we're joined on the phone with Randy. Obviously, last turn we talked with Roger Hadan, and he kind of let the cat out of the bag a little bit that he'd been working with you guys to get the 305s over to Crawford County, and he made the announcement that is true, that you are going to go 305s. Can you talk about the conversations you've had with Roger, how instrumental he was in making that decision?
Had various conversations back and forth with Roger. More so, my one of my fellow board managers, that we are going to be replacing the late model division at Crawford County Speedway with 305 Racesaver sprint cars. Just as far as the success Roger's had at his track with bringing them to Eagle and the car count that he ended up with at the end of the year. And we've been in conversation with IMCA. IMCA has given us the green light that they will sanction the 305 Racesaver sprint cars at Crawford County Speedway for the coming season. Was it a deciding factor that the late models weren't fully sanctioned last year every single week? Was that a deciding factor that you could go and get the 305s and they would be fully sanctioned? Yes, because on nights when we had sanctioned late model races, we would get a car count as many as 16. On nights when we didn't, it would be 8. So And going forward, I know the racetrack in Des Moines, they are still going to be getting late model sanctioning for the coming year, and that's why we had to do a limited sanctioning with late models in 2013. So yes, that had a big impact on our decision to move to the 305 Racesaver sprint cars.
Yeah, have you guys worked out a pay scale yet as far as what you're going to be paying the 305s?
We're still working on it. We're looking at a couple of other tracks, including Rogers, what their payout is, and we're going to be in that neighborhood as well.
Any joint point series you're going to be doing? Like you guys did the John Deere point series with Alta and Crawford last year. Anything with that you're going to try to bring the 305s together with to help draw in more drivers?
Everything's preliminary, but I know in talking with Roger, he was working on doing a traveling series for the 305 Racesavers throughout Nebraska and Iowa, it sounded like, so that might be an option.
Yeah, he just talked about it last turn. It was the Sprint Series of Nebraska?
The SSN series.
Yeah.
You know, we're talking about a lot of sprint car racing here, but one thing I'm really excited, and now running a kart facility, you have to understand, I get asked this a ton. What in the world's going on with the kart track at Crawford County Speedway? Can you talk about that at all, Randy?
Yes, my knowledge of it is the Crawford County Fair Board outside of Corner 4 in where we call the $1 Million row for parking with the big rigs.
Yep.
They've converted that into a go-kart track. They ran limited races there this year, but I think they're planning on even doing more. And I know some people reached out to them as far as running cage karts as well, which is good and exciting because, you know, as they start out younger, guess what? As the older they get, the bigger the toys get, and it brings in more drivers to race at Crawford County Speedway in the bigger classes in the future.
Got to start them young. If you want to get a picture of that, you can actually see it on Crawford County's website, ccsdirtracing.com. There's an aerial shot of the track, and you can see just to the upper left corner, there's a little dirt track sitting there just past the grandstand. So is that going to be ran by you, the Racing Association, or by the Fair Board?
That will be by the Fair Board. Mm-hmm. And then also for the coming 2014 season, we have spent money to, we revamped corners 3 and 4 to be banked and match more of corners 1 and 2, as well as we did some additional tiling so water can drain better in corners 3 and 4. So it's proved when the Fair Board, they did a special race on early October, and we had a lot of good feedback from the racetrack of how it was. And I know we had success in being able to race during the 2013 season with rain when other tracks rained out, and by retiling this and revamping it, that will only help to be able to race when other tracks can't due to rain.
Mm-hmm. And that's going to be a big factor. I mean, we just talked with Roger about it. 5 of his first 7 races were rained out, and I know Crawford, we had 2 rainouts this year.
Yes, too.
Am I right on that? Yeah, so we got lucky, and it wasn't because of drainage. It was just simply because we got luck of the draw with storms that missed us, and I'll say there are a couple of Fair Board members that worked their tails off to make sure we were racing on Friday night.
Right, and exactly, and we were able to get the water off the track, and even more so now with this new tiling system we put in, the drainage will be even faster, and thus be able to probably have races when other tracks are raining out.
With this year being IMCA sanctioned in 2013, Dan and I have battled back and forth and debated this here on the show all season long this year. In your opinion, Randy, did having IMCA sanctioning behind you in 2013 help the track?
Yes, it helped. We did pick up the car count a little bit. Optimistic that it will only improve 2014.
Let's talk about 2014 a little bit, Randy. I'm joined with Randy Tiffey, one of the Fair Board members, one of the board members for the Racing Association at Crawford County Speedway. Let's talk about that the season a little bit. Last year, the 2012 inaugural season, I believe we raced 10 races. This year we raced about 14. Are you going to add a couple of more races to the end of the season on the 2014 schedule?
Yes, we're going to we're planning putting our schedule together as we speak. It will be 18 race night plus the Crawford County Fair Board during their fair. Last year they did 2 race nights. We're hopeful that they will do that. If not, there'll be at least 1. So the total season will be a 19 to 20 race night season for the coming 2014. We plan on doing a full season, and also planning to do 1 or 2 specials for the 2014.
Can you elaborate on those specials at all?
A little bit. We're in discussions with one other series that we're hopeful that we can land. And then also last year we did 2 race nights on July 3rd and 4th. They were separate race nights. We're looking at how we can consolidate that into doing a special over the 4th of July weekend.
All right, then. Any other big announcements you guys got for us for Crawford County Speedway?
I think it's just going to be an exciting year with even a higher car count than we had last year. And I mean, with the addition of the 305 Racesaver sprint cars, I mean, it's a great facility. There's a beautiful grandstand there that holds 5,500 people. So I think, we'll see a lot more people in the stands as we've proven over the years with the fair board holding sprint car races during their fair, how, those grandstands filled up pretty good. It brings in a very large crowd. So doing this on a weekly basis, we're very optimistic that it will definitely put more fans in the stands and bring more cars to the track.
All right, Tiffey, we appreciate your time, and you take it easy and don't get any more trouble, okay?
Thank you.
All right, have a good night. Randy Tiffey, member of the Racing Association.
And a character.
Are you okay? You kind of clammed up there.
No, I'm fine.
You asked like 1 or 2 questions. I'm getting worried about you now. Tell you what, we'll put a little wedge in you, get you tightened up. We'll get you back in turn 4. You'll be back to normal.
Yeah, there you go.
We'll get you a Dr. Pepper in you. We'll be right back here on the front stretch to wrap it all up.
This week's Legend of Tomorrow on the front stretch is Logan Henriksen out of Bellevue, Nebraska. At the young age of 12, Logan first sat down behind the wheel of a Champ Car and took second in the point standings at Little Sunset by claiming 10 feature wins. That same year, he took the A feature win at the Turkey Chase while driving a Junior Cage 1 cart. Logan has kept the feature wins, track championships, and accolades coming as he has continued to strive for his goal of being in NASCAR. 2013 has been a big year for Logan as he works toward driving a full-sized race car in the near future. Logan knows that without the support of his crew, family, and sponsors, he wouldn't have made such great progress. A special thanks going out to Matt Gropp and Kevin Cruz of Status Chassis, and of course to Grandpa Henriksen for all his advice. You can catch this week's Legend of Tomorrow at this year's Turkey Chase on November 30th and December 1st as he tries for yet another A feature win. Logan Henriksen, he's this week's Legend of Tomorrow on the front stretch.
We have all been there before. Broken car part in your hand and some snot-nosed punk behind the counter has no idea what he is talking about, but he guarantees that this part will fix your car. You pay an arm and a leg for the replacement, get it home, and sure enough, it doesn't fit your car. Now, learn from your mistake and give an experienced salesperson at Kosiski Auto Parts a call today at 402-731-4592. Kosiski Auto Parts will get you back on the road with your arms and legs still attached.
Are you ready for fast-paced, adrenaline-pumping, wheel-to-wheel racing right here in the Metro? Get to Joe's Karting in Council Bluffs and see what it's like to race real go-karts. Joe's Karting knows it's no fun to race go-karts at 10 miles per hour, so they ripped the governors out, and now the only restriction is how good you are at racing. It's full-throttle, white-knuckle racing every day of the week. Head over to joeskarting.com for hours, prices, and specials, or give Buddy a call today and set up your group races at 712-256-5278.
Get ready for the victory lap as we make our way into Turn 4 on the front stretch. Presented by Joe's Karting. Online at joeskarting.com.
Hey race fans, this is Nick Odell, front tire changer for the number 18 M&M's Toyota, and you're listening to the front stretch.
Heading into Turn 4 here on the front stretch in the show, brought to you by Joe's Karting at Council Bluffs, online at joeskarting.com. Final reminder before we wrap things up today, the Racing with the Stars kicks off at noon today. If you want to head over to Facebook, you can find the 6th annual Racing with the Stars via the front stretch page, or you can search it up in the search bar for 6th annual Racing with the Stars. A full list of drivers and celebrities that are going to be attending, a full list of items that you can bid on, and all of the happenings, including a walking taco.
A walking taco.
What is it, 1 for 2 and 3 for...
It's 1 for 3, 2 for 5. You can't beat that deal. We tried to get bags of Doritos or Fritos, and we finally found the proper size bag. The problem is it took 7 to 10 business days to get them in, and we had no idea when they were going to be here. Mm-hmm. So we will have them, but we'll probably have the chips served in a bowl. All the same. It's the same thing. So.
It's the same thing, yeah.
Yeah. I tell you what, I'm more excited about the Harley Meyer, Dan Taylor fight over a helmet.
It's going to be a bit of a slap fest, I'll tell you that much right now.
Right there.
There may be some hair pulling, there may be some cussing and screaming.
First time ever for the Racing with the Stars. Follow Facebook. Follow Joe's Karting on Facebook, or myself, Buddy Ray Jones, on Facebook. We're going to be putting out a link tomorrow. That link on Sunday, if you can't make it to the Racing with the Stars, but you want to watch the action, watch the Harley and Dan Taylor fight, you will be able to watch live streaming of the races.
And the link is on the Facebook already, right?
Yes, the link is on the page already.
Okay.
Yep.
So it's at the Joe's Karting site?
Yep, go to the Joe's Karting site. It should be on the main page. It'll say something, it won't pop up as a window. It'll just be a link. You just double-click that link, and a screen will pop up, and you'll be able to watch.
Speaking of Joe's Karting, the third year you've done the Dirt Series?
Oh, yeah, the Dirt Track Series. Oh, yeah, big news on that one.
Third year you've done it, or fourth year now?
This was the third year.
Okay, how'd that wrap up?
We had a record-breaking 30 drivers enter it this year. Right now, Jordan Evans from the adult stock carts out of Mini E Raceway in Eagle, Nebraska, he ended up winning with 1,290.139 points. The 26th of October, last Saturday, 11 o'clock, the Dirt Series was over. He came in and raced 10 times to get bonus points. Clint Llewellyn out of Urbandale, I believe it is. Stewart, Iowa. He races Stewart Speedway.
Yep.
He came home second. Howard Cozell finished third. Cody Thompson was fourth.
Every time I hear Howard Cozell, I think of the announcer.
I know.
I giggle a little.
Cody Thompson was fourth. Todd Bulware out of Sioux City was fifth, and sixth place was Tyler Thompson. Right now, payout-wise, Jordan Evans ended up winning $237. Clint Llewellyn $189.50. Howard Cozell $142. Cody Thompson $94.75. Todd Bulware $42.75.
Nice.
That's not bad on a $20 entry. Clint Llewellyn, for his efforts, he won that cash payout because he was actually the highest finishing IMCA registered driver. He won a license in the Sport Mod division for 2014, so that's a $100 savings.
Nice.
Shaylee Bade.
I've heard of her.
Yep. Finished 15th in the sprint car, or 15th in the Dirt Series, but she was the highest finishing sprint car driver in the series. Therefore, she won a $200 front ring from Grossenbacher Motorsports.
Wow.
So, I mean, there's quite a bit of stuff spread around, but here's a big announcement for this. Rich and I were so impressed by the drivers coming in, getting their bonus points. Nobody was angry about anything. It just went as smooth as can be. So Joe's Karting 2014, and we'll be announcing this today at the Racing with the Stars. Joe's Karting is adding $1,000 to the pot. On 30 drivers, we are going to be adding $1,000 to the pot. 30 drivers, top 10 will pay out. 29 or less, top 5 will pay out. So either way, if I get
Joe's Karting's contributing a cool G to the pot next year.
Yeah, so right now, with the current pot, I did the math the other day. That would have meant this year's winner, based on 30 drivers, would have won $497 and some change or something. I mean, it was impressive, and I was like, wow. So that'll be big, and we'll be able to start signing people up here very, very shortly, if not maybe today.
Okay, well so get your information ready to go for the 2014 Joe's Karting Dirt Series that Buddy puts on every year. Let's talk Texas Motor Speedway. Your top 5 rated drivers at TMS. Guess who is on top?
For
you've got a 50-50 shot.
Jimmy Johnson.
No, you got it wrong. Matt Kenseth is
that was my next
3 points higher than Jimmy Johnson. Greg Biffle is ranked 3rd. Kyle Busch ranked 4th, and Tony Stewart, obviously not going to be at the track today, ranked 5th for your driver's rating. And this goes back compiling finishes from 2005 to 2013, the earlier race in Texas. Total 17 total races. And keep in mind, back in 2007, Jimmy Johnson and Matt Kenseth put on one heck of a 10-lap battle at the end of that race, and Jimmy Johnson came out on top. So this is going to be one heck of a race, because these guys understand. I mean, I talked about it the last night at Crawford County, how you could tell the guys who were in contention for the championship were pushing just a little bit harder. They push hard enough on a weekly basis, but they were pushing just a little bit harder. And you better believe Matt Kenseth and Jimmy Johnson are pushing just a little bit harder. If you're asking yourself, where's old Jeffrey at? Jeff is ranked 9th amongst active drivers, 92.3 driver rating. Matt Kenseth has a 106.5. Jimmy Johnson a 103.8. So that's a statistic that NASCAR throws out each and every week.
Is Austin racing today?
He is racing today. He's racing the 33 for, I believe that's a Richard Childress racing car.
Now, this would be the first time that Dylan is racing Cup in his home state in front of his home crowd. That could be a wild card factor right there. Look, he just...
I don't see it.
Okay, shut up. He ran Talladega really, really good. He was already down there in the South. He goes to Texas, his home state. You mean to tell me that if you were to go down to that little dot on the map called Red Oak, Iowa... and you're driving a race car, you're not going to do your damnedest to put on a good show for your home crowd. You're not going to want to show, make yourself stand out.
I'm saying that home track hasn't been an advantage in the past. And I don't know. If I go to Red Oak or I go to Crawford or I go to Las Vegas, I'm going to drive my butt off to be in victory lane.
I bet, mark my words, I'll buy you a soda. I'll even put a splurge for the $1.49 big gulp.
I don't drink pop. I bet you
he's top 10. He'll easily be top 10 today.
I'll take that bet any day because that 33 hasn't finished in the top 10 in ever. I can almost guarantee you that is a test car, and test cars don't win races.
You want to go big or go home on the bet?
That's fine. I'll go big or go home.
Okay, go big or go home. If the 33 finishes top 10 at Texas today, I get a mercy pick in the Pick'ems contest. If the 33 does not finish in the top 10.
Define your mercy pick.
What's that?
Define your mercy pick.
I get to pick whoever I want.
You get to pick whoever you want anyways.
No. At the Miami race.
You get to pick whoever you want anyways. Unless you finish in front of me and I get to pick first.
Mercy pick means no rules. I can pick whoever I want. But if the 33 does not finish top 10 today,
nope.
Then
I'm not taking that.
Then I don't get a pick at Miami.
I'm not taking that.
Why?
Because it's a lose-lose situation for me. I let you pick at Miami. As current rules, I'm going to beat you anyways. You're 80-some points behind me in the championship. Unless I just completely cough up a goose egg.
You're guaranteeing me that Austin Dillon's not going to be top 10 at Texas today, which...
Okay, yeah, I am. But
you're smoking
I'm not going to take that bet because he's still got a good chance of finishing. I don't think he's going to finish in the top 10, but I'm not taking that bet. I'm not going to be wrong at Texas. No, yes. Because there's no winning for me in this situation.
That means I was smarter than you and I facilitated this deal.
No, it doesn't. It's only if I was to accept it. This is the dumbest bet in the world. Give me something that actually pays out good for me, and I'll take that bet with you. I'll take Texas Roadhouse. I'll buy you Texas Roadhouse. You got to buy me Texas Roadhouse.
Does McDonald's have Texas barbecue sandwiches on the dollar menu?
No, Texas Roadhouse.
Okay.
Or steak dinner or Quaker Steak and Lube. Which one do you want? Because frankly, I'd rather have that Texas cheeseburger melt at Quaker Steak and Lube.
Okay, if you win,
all right,
we get our restaurant of choice.
All right. Deal. No, not restaurant of choice.
Well, no.
You get Texas.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm not leaving things open like that. I've seen you order off the menu. You'll take me to 360 Steakhouse, and you're like, oh, what's this market price here? I'll take that. No, we're not doing that. All right, Texas Motor Speedway just around the corner. 3 races left in the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup Championship. It's all knotted up at the top between Jimmy Johnson and Matt Kenseth. You can catch all of the action today at Quaker Steak and Lube. You'll be right across the street from the Racing with the Stars over at Joe's Karting. It's going to be a great event. We hope we all see you there. Any last thoughts before we close out the show, Bub?
Just come on out and have a good time. I mean, this is a great time. This is going to be the last time a lot of us are going to get to see some of our favorite drivers from area tracks before we all go into hibernation mode for the winter.
And it's your rare opportunity to kind of get an idea of what Joe's Karting is like because it's discounted racing. 10 laps?
$10 for 8-lap races.
There you go. And $3 of that goes into the Holiday Horsepower Drive, plus whatever bidding items you decide to throw around, you'll get that too. So much to go on today at Joe's Karting in Council Bluffs and over at Quaker Steak and Lube, the official watering hole of the front stretch. Catch all of the action for the NASCAR on the big screens at Quaker Steak and Lube, and do yourself a solid and get yourself a nice Sam Adams Oktoberfest. Get yourself one of those Texas cheeseburger melts. Heaven will be presented to you in a timely manner. Thanks for joining us this morning on the front stretch. For Buddy Ray, I'm Dan Taylor. Have a great day. We hope to see you this afternoon at Joe's Karting in Council Bluffs.
The 6th annual Racing with the Stars is just around the corner. Sunday, November 3rd from noon to 4 p.m. at Joe's Karting in Council Bluffs. This is your chance to race with your favorite dirt track drivers like Trevor Hunt from USMTS, Josh Most, Shea Obade, and celebrities like Ryan McPike from the Action 3 Weather Team. The 6th annual Racing with the Stars at Joe's Karting in Council Bluffs, a benefit to raise money for Children's Hospital. More info on Facebook at 6th annual Racing with the Stars.
In 1999, Wade Cross decided he was tired of overpaying for shocks, so he created FX Shocks. Now FX suspension customers reach across the United States with countless wins and championships, including national champion in 3 major IMCA classes, plus Super Nationals champions in all 4 of the Saturday night's main events. Get your FX Shocks today. One-on-one consultation is waiting for you at 308-383-9609. 308-383.
Are you ready for fast-paced, adrenaline-pumping, wheel-to-wheel racing right here in the Metro? Get to Joe's Karting in Council Bluffs and see what it's like to race real go-karts. Joe's Karting knows it's no fun to race go-karts at 10 miles per hour, so they ripped the governors out, and now the only restriction is how good you are at racing. It's full-throttle, white-knuckle racing every day of the week. Head over to joeskarting.com for hours, prices, and specials, or give Buddy a call today and set up your group races at 712-256-5278.